Hey, all right, there we go. See, do a little chat check here. Looks like it is working on my end. Of course, we're going to do the numbers here. We will do the odds that Vegas is lying to us. Yep, chat's working. Glock, what's up, man? Let's see here. All right, let a few people file in here, and we will jump into it. Who do you guys think is going to win the 500? Before I get started on this, I'm interested to see who you guys think is going to win. So we will see what the deal is. All right, looks like people are filing in. So we are going to jump right into the numbers. I hope. Well, yep. There we go. So, all right. In the last 6 races, 3 of which Austin Cindric has been in, he has got the best numbers with an average finish of 6.3. Austin Cindric is your best average finisher in these races, followed by Brendan Gaughan, Jamie McMurray, who's obviously neither one of those guys are racing. Then you got Bubba Wallace next with an average finish of 8.7. Ryan Blaney with a 9.7. Chase Elliott with 11.3. Ty Gibbs, a lot of guys on here that aren't even racing, like Clint Boyer, John Hunter Nemechek, Jamie McMurray, Brendan Gaughan. So yeah, so a lot of good finishers that aren't even in the race. Ty Gibbs is actually a sneaky pick there. Ty Gibbs is in there at average finish of 13th. Austin Dillon with an average finish of 13.8. Then you got Denny Hamlin, 14.0. David Reagan obviously not in it. Brendan Poole not in it. Then Kevin Harvick at 15.7. So those are your average finishes best average finishes in the last 6 races. Then you got another pretty good stat here. William Byron, past winners. William Byron, past winner. William Byron's average finish in Daytona is 29.3, but he is a past winner. So that lets you know all you need to know about the numbers at Daytona. Michael McDowell, average finish of 17.8. He's a past winner. Denny Hamlin also, Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, and Austin Cindric. Those are your last 6 winners at Daytona, not just the 500, just Daytona overall. And of those past 2 winners, your best finishing averages are going to be Austin Cindric and Ryan Blaney. So looking very strong for Penske here if you're just looking at the numbers. All right, let's go to see what Vegas is saying about this deal. Let's see how Vegas has things stacked up. And I looked at this and I had to double check it and look at it again. But Vegas has Kyle Larson as the favorite to win this. So let's look. At he is at plus 1,000 to win this race, plus 400 for a top 3, and plus 190 for a top 5. I'll just go ahead and tell you that I'm a Kyle Larson fan, and I would take that action just because I'm a fan. But the numbers do not necessarily bear that out, because let's see here, where is Larson at? How far toward the bottom do I need to go? Kyle Larson's average finish at Daytona is 21.8. He does have 2 top 10s though, so there you go. 2 top 10s, no top 5s. So take if you're somebody that pays attention to the numbers, I would be wary of that. But then you got a more reasonable one here, Ryan Blaney at plus 1,200. So Ryan Blaney plus 1,200. That is definitely a good one. I like that one. Kyle Busch, I feel strong about Kyle Busch. I'm not even going to look at his numbers. I just know he's in a fast car. Joey Logano's up there. Like I said, anybody in a Penske is going to be good. Also at plus 1,200. Chase Elliott plus 1,200. Denny Hamlin, you saw his numbers were good, plus 1,300. And William Byron, I don't know if I would take that one, but he's plus 1,400. Then you got Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace at plus 1,800. That would probably be a good one to tick off. Where's Cindric at? They got Cindric at plus 2,000. So Cindric at plus 2,000 from the numbers we just looked at is definitely a good pick. So there you go. And where are the big underdogs at here? Let's see who the big underdogs are. They got Zane Smith at plus 10,000. Corey LaJoie at plus 10,000. Corey LaJoie, he can get around a plate track. So Corey LaJoie at plus 10,000, probably not the worst pick. But, if you're in this race, you got a chance. BJ McLeod, the biggest dog here, plus 50,000. So BJ McLeod and Cody Ware plus 50,000. Connor Daly plus 30,000. Riley Herbst 15,000. Ty Dillon 15,000. Travis Pastrana plus 10,000. And aforementioned Zane Smith and Corey LaJoie. They got the Dinger at plus 5,000. We've seen Colleague run well in the Xfinity Series at plate tracks. And Jimmy Johnson and also Justin Haley are at plus 4,000. Ty Gibbs plus 5,000. Ty Gibbs had that sneaky statistic in there, so I wouldn't sleep on him either. So there you go. Who I'm picking, of course, is going to be Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch in an RCR car. I'm going to pick him until it actually happens. But if you just go off the numbers, I do like Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, or anybody really in a Penske car. So those are kind of my picks for there. But be interesting to see what you guys are thinking. So let's see here. Ryan Preece, the dark horse. Yeah, for sure. Ryan Preece definitely another good pick there. Obviously, he doesn't have any numbers to look at, but he would be in the he's around 3,000 or 4,000. I did see his name. I think he's plus 3,000 or plus 4,000 at the one I was looking at. Due to the terms here, I can't tell you which one I'm looking at, but you kings and queens can figure out probably from that hint where those numbers were coming from. Let's see here. I do like Ryan Preece as the dark horse Glock, that's for sure. Anthony at Auto Club Speedway says, "What's up from Southern California? What's up, Southern California? What's up, Anthony? Let's go Trackhouse. So Trackhouse, they got fast cars for sure. I think the only issue I think with Trackhouse is anybody going to work with Ross Chastain because he's got a lot of haters in the garage. And after Daniel Suarez with the incident with Kyle Busch, how many people are going to work with him? I know on Joey Logano's radio, he said he doesn't want any Chevrolets anywhere around him, helping him out, pushing him. So that's going to be interesting to watch today. How many drivers are going to work with Chevrolets? Will Chevrolet have to sort of team up because nobody will work with them? It would sort of be like the opposite of what we've seen in the past where they had manufacturer deals. This time they might have to work with each other because nobody will work with them. Mark Barnum going with Blaney for the win today. That's a good one. John Mick, appreciate it. What's up, John? Hope you're doing good here. Number 6 car wins, 43 cars second. And the 4 car is third, goes old home guy. So he's got Harvick finishing third. You got Eric Jones in second, and you got BK going for that dub. I do like that pick. Brad Keselowski, he either wrecks or wins at these types of tracks, so that's not a bad pick there at all. As long as it's a Chevy, that's all that matters, says Tan Dog. So there you go. I don't know if anybody's going to work with the Chevrolets. It's going to be an uphill battle for them. Let's see here. Those Mustangs look fast. I'll take Brad, says John Mick. So there you go. Another vote for Brad Keselowski there. Fords definitely look fast. I actually think in the draft, I feel like the Toyotas have actually looked the fastest. They just don't have the numbers. So that being said, even though they're the fastest, and you never count Denny Hamlin out because he's never needed help before in numbers as far as numbers go. But I wouldn't count him out for sure. But I do think the Fords have the numbers and Fords have the speed. But I do think the Toyotas look a little bit better in the draft for some reason, especially when they lay back and get a run. It's like they can get a little bit more momentum. It's been kind of interesting. I think the Chevrolets, if they got somebody pushing them, are fast, but nobody wants to be pushed by a Chevrolet, so that's going to be interesting. Does a Ford or a Toyota take a Chevrolet to the front and then sort of push them to the very end and then give them the old okey doke on the last lap? That could be a situation to look for. Vegas odds have Jimmy Johnson at 1,800 with a part-time deal. Yeah, so there you go. It just depends on where you look at. I was, looking at the green and the orange. They got him at 4,000. So with a part-time deal, never driving a new car and in petty equipment. I laughed hard when I saw that one. So there you go. Yep. Plus he's in a Chevrolet too. So, not for nothing. It seems like a lot of people are not going to want to work with Chevrolets here because of the pointy nose. Swan Dog says, "What's up, BB? We're back. Can't wait to see that number 8 leading some laps. Hope it is back up and dialed in." He said he was Swan Dog. He said he was pretty happy with the backup car that they went to. He said it felt sporty. So look for them. Eric Sipe says that man Jones is going to get that dub today. Believe it. He's got a fast car. We'll have to see what happens. Really good looking car. I like the band on the hood. Not going to say that and get in trouble again, but I do like the sponsor there. Top 5 super speedway drivers right now. Definitely Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Austin Cindric is in there, and believe it or not, not a lot of people are going to think this, but Ty Gibbs is actually a pretty good super speedway driver, and I know it's a limited. It's only 2 races, but he has an average finish of 13th in those 2 races. Bubba Wallace is the other one up there. I knew I was missing somebody. Bubba Wallace is another good one. He has an average finish of 8.7 at Daytona. in the last 6 races. And Austin Dillon, I know a lot of people don't like either one of those guys, but Austin Dillon has to be in that mix too. And he doesn't get as much press for the super speedway stuff, but Chase Elliott has an average finish of 11.3. So I probably name more than 5, but those are definitely the guys I would go with there as far as super speedways go. Vegas odds are a total joke, says Glock. Yeah, well, they just do it to get you to spend money. It's not necessarily a representation of who will do what, because as a Kyle Larson fan, I'm just telling you that's a dicey pick there at a super speedway. Same thing with William Byron. William Byron gets it done, but that's a dicey pick. He finds wrecks. He finds wrecks at super speedways, so that's a dicey pick. Always has a fast car, always runs well, but William Byron, if there's a wreck, he's going to find it like a magnet. Speaking of wrecks, Mark Barnum says Ricky Spinhouse will spin the field at lap 10. So Mark Barnum going with the proposition there of Spinhouse getting in at least one wreck. Let's see here. Mark says the number 8. Mark Wachowski going with Kyle Busch to win, Joey Logano second, and Chris Buescher in the 17. Chris Buescher is another underrated super speedway dude. Yeah, I like those 3 right there. That's a good solid pick. You think KB will be good in the backup car, says Glock. Talking to Mark, I think he will, because he said it drafted well, it drove well. He just didn't know how much raw speed it had compared to the other one. I did find out, or at least they said a couple of reliable sources on Twitter. I can't remember who they are off the top of my head. They did say that they took the motor out of the car that was wrecked and put it in this car. So we do know he does have at least the best horsepower he can have, because he does have at least the same drivetrain in the backup car. Home guy says averages and stats mean nothing on the last lap, and I would say averages and stats mean pretty much nothing at super speedways, except for the guys that have multiple top 5s and stuff like that. So some people do figure out how to get through these wreck fests, and obviously Denny Hamlin throughout his career. I'm just saying him because he's been doing it for so long. He has obviously figured out how to get through all the wrecks and finish up front. Let's see here. Let's speaking of which, we'll look at his numbers real quick. Where's old James Dennis Allen? Yeah, he's got 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 3 top 10s, 4 top 20s. He's led 206 laps and has an average starting position of 18th at plate tracks, super speedways, whatever you want to call them these days. So in the last 6 races, so half the time in the last 6 races, he's finished in the top 5. So I would say he's figured the deal out, and he doesn't need manufacturer help, because obviously Toyotas always have the fewest amount of cars. Kyle would be good in a pedal car, says Mark Wachowski. Yeah, Kyle Busch wheels it. I think this is the best car as far as super speedways go that he's ever had, just from the way he's been acting about it. Before the wreck. But if the backup car is even close to that, I think he's still pretty happy. Just popping in to say cheers and happy race day. What's up, BJ Morgan? Thanks for popping in, and cheers to you, my friend. Let's see. Old home guy says dark horse Ty Dillon, definitely. Yeah, Ty Dillon actually. This is one of the few tracks that he legitimately does typically run pretty well at. He at least finishes these races 9 times out of 10. So yeah, this would be if you want to do a chip and a chance, that'd be a good guy for a chip and a chance. If he doesn't win, you weren't expecting him to win, but if he does win, you're sitting pretty, right? So let's see here, Swan Dog, and like Larry McReynolds said on the pre-race, a little bit of the pre-race I was watching earlier. If you're in this race, you have a chance, right? And we've seen that in the past. Swan Dog says KB said he liked the backup and didn't practice yesterday, so should be just as strong. So yeah, that's pretty much a strong statement. He did the first practice, liked the car good enough that he didn't even want to risk it in the second practice. So that's he's probably pretty confident in that car. What's up from North Georgia, says Ronnie Watkins. What's up, North Georgia? Probably pulling for Chase, I would bet. Chase Elliott fan. Chase Elliott has a lot of Georgia fans, but not necessarily all of them. We know I know several people that are Alex Bowman fans from Georgia, so it's interesting. Randy Tingen said, "What's up, BB? Love the channel. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it. I appreciate all y'all watching. I love you too." Let's see here. Old home guy, friends and enemies don't matter. If they draft good, you win. Yeah, so that's the thing. You can absolutely not stand somebody, but if your car works good with their car, you become friends for a day, right? Because you want to win the Daytona 500. So all that stuff definitely goes out the window for this particular race and these style of races as well. Ryan Geldart says 10 years ago, the 500 was won by the 48. Also, the last time the 500 was on February 19th in 2006. It was also won by the 48. I got most money on Chris Buescher, Truex, and Bubba. So there you go. Some interesting numbers there. So it might be all signs go for the 48. Obviously, he didn't do a lot in the duels because he was taking care of that car. He had it trimmed out. He didn't want to risk it in the duels, but the 48 could be good. And the guy driving the 48, he could also factor into that too. So maybe it's not the number, maybe it was the driver. So maybe that 84, maybe those numbers lean toward him if you believe in sort of that numerology stuff. I know a lot of people make their picks based on that, but I did like your picks there at the bottom there. I do like Buescher, Truex, and Bubba. Those are definitely solid picks. Martin Truex is sort of underrated here too. Ronnie Watkins going Brad K all the way. So okay, Georgia for Brad K. I like it. Brad hasn't won in a while. Penske and RFK 5-car draft train. Yeah, I do think the Fords and Toyotas will work together. I think Chevrolet is just going to have to figure out how to do something on their own. They've been in this situation before, though, with the pointy nose. Glock says the Chevrolets cannot bump draft. The momentum has to come from 4 or 5 cars back. Chevrolet cars cannot do that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna have to have somebody pushing them. As far as that goes, now they can do it. Maybe if you save it for the last 10 laps, but they're going to have to be in position for those last 10 laps too. So it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for the Chevrolet drivers. That being said, I think if somebody works well with Kyle Busch, because Kyle Busch's car was fast, I think you could see somebody. There are certain drivers that can overcome that, right? Kyle Busch is a really good plate driver. If Denny Hamlin was driving a Chevrolet, I feel like Denny Hamlin could overcome it. So there are going to be a few Chevrolet drivers that can overcome it. But for the most part, the guys that are not good at working the draft, driving a Chevrolet, they're going to be at a serious disadvantage today because I don't think anybody is really going to want to work with them. Let's see. Eric Sipes, if we're being real, Daytona can be a total crapshoot. Yeah, I agree. There are a handful that will always do good on super speedways like Hamlin, Wallace Jones, etc. But none of that matters on the last lap. 100% right, Eric. I agree with you 100%. So it's actually easier. It would probably be easier to pick a dude for a top 5 here, right? Than to pick. I mean, obviously, right? But it's easier to pick somebody for a top 5 than to pick somebody to win the race, just because it's just like the NASCAR playoffs. Anything can happen, right? It's not necessarily a sign of who had the best race. Is not necessarily always who wins it. That's just the way plate racing goes. Mark McCaskey, Chevrolet will win. Ford will be fast, but will fade. Toyota has its work cut out for it. Basically saying because they lack the numbers there. Yeah, it could play out that way. It's going to be very interesting. Joey Logano wins his second Daytona 500 today, says Jamie Schweitzer. So there we go. Got 1 vote for Logano there. It's going to be super interesting. I wish I didn't live in Germany so I could watch the race. Looking forward to the review, says Adam. I think if you get on a VPN, I can't remember. Somebody asked me this in one of the questions on one of the regular videos. But I think if you get a VPN, you can actually stream this race over there in parts of Europe. I don't know if Germany is one of those parts that you can stream it in. So that's going to be interesting. And lost my place there. There we go. Pulling for a non-winner today. Always like to see that except Gibbs. So pulling for a non-winner, always like to see that except for Gibbs. So Josh Strickland, basically anybody but Ty Gibbs, he's taking that line. So that's going to be pretty interesting. There is no possible way to even come close to predicting who should win and is the luckiest winner. But I do enjoy watching it, says Claude Williams. So yeah, that's for sure. But it is fun to predict anyway. Like if somebody says I predicted it and I knew it was going to happen, yeah, they're definitely full of it. I'm a Connor Daly fan. Need to change my name, but I have to wait for 8 days. But hopefully the money team gives Daly a better car than what happened in the duel. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they got those bugs worked out for sure. If you want to throw a chip and a chance on him, he's definitely got a good return. Whether or not it happens is another story. And hopefully they get him off the ground this time. That was a bad situation in the duels. Luckily for him, Austin Hill was wrecked. TJ Moorshed says race is completely unpredictable. I got Harvick with a storybook win to kick off his retirement tour. Yeah, so as far as storylines go, he's definitely got one of the better storylines. Hopefully, he can get it done from that aspect. I would love to see anybody that's got a good storyline win it because obviously, it would help the channel out quite a bit. 24 gets his first Daytona 500 today. Maybe I'm a little biased. Says say Kyle, not Cal. Yeah, he could definitely get it done. Like he's won here before. He's the classic example of he either wins or wrecks at these tracks. Sooner Hamlin gets crashed or Chastain, the better today, says Mark Barnum. So he's predicting a Hamlin wreck and possibly via the old number one car there. That would be a way to start off the season for sure. I can see it now. Number 3 pushing Kyle to his first win. Says the B man 1582. They worked pretty good. They worked together pretty good. They were in separate duels, but they definitely worked pretty good in at the LA Coliseum. So I would expect to see some teamwork from them for sure. Enjoy your race day, BB. We will see you after the race. Number 5. Who else is with Young Money? Says William Wagaman. Yeah, Kyle Larson has a good car, and for once, he was driving pretty conservatively. He's typically not conservative at these tracks or any track. And it's cost him in the past, but he was driving very conservatively in the duels. So if he can maintain that energy until the last 10 laps or so, anybody in this race has a chance. But, Kyle Larson and William Byron typically find wrecks at super speedways. So obviously pulling for him, but I'm not expecting anything great. His super speedway performances have not been amazing. Pastrana for the win, says Cosmic Patriot. Look, Travis Pastrana's been getting in as many cars as he can get in, getting his maximum amount of experience, trying to do the best he can for this. And like I said, once you're in the race, you have a chance. So Travis Pastrana definitely has a chance. Mark Wachowski says Haley Deegan was running good, then get caught up in somebody else's wreck. Yeah, so it's not going to seem like it, but she was actually off to a good start to the season. She was showing speed. She was up there racing in the top 10. Even got some stage points, but got caught up. It's part of super speedway racing. She got caught up in somebody else's mess. Ryan Geldhart, my ribs and wings on the Traeger and beers in the fridge. What's your go-to race snacks? I like pizza and wings, and then whatever beverage of choice you would like to enjoy. I usually try to make a video after these, so I stick with water or whatever you feel like drinking. I always go with Hamlin, but in my heart, I want Chase Elliott victory, says Rob Dutzer. So here's the deal. Chase Elliott has good numbers at these tracks, and nobody's talking about him. So it could be a situation where Chase Elliott takes the win, because it always feels like it's somebody it's either somebody you expect to win like Hamlin, or it's somebody you just weren't talking about all weekend. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that's never won a race, but it's just somebody. Chase Elliott hasn't really been talked about as far as I've seen as being a Daytona 500 threat. We know his dad got it done several times, so it would not surprise me to see Chase Elliott win this race. She'll do better. She's in better equipment. Go Haley Deegan, says William. Yeah, I think so too. I think she'll be fine. I think all the gloom and doom about Haley Deegan is sort of overblown. Matt Hunter says, looking into my crystal ball, who will make the top 5? Brad P, Corey LaJoy. I like both of those. Justin Haley, Eric Jones, and Jimmy Johnson. All solid picks. They definitely can get it done here. Their past numbers alone show that they get it done at these type of tracks. So yeah, I like all those picks. The I Am Knowledge says, your content rocks. Thank you for all that you do. I appreciate it, Knowledge. I do my best, and I'm glad you guys appreciate it. Connor Daly is such a cool guy. Anthony Alfredo fan says, Connor Daly is such a cool guy. Everyone should respect him for even taking the time to nurse that car to the finish. He easily could have pulled in the garage, but never gave up. What a cool guy. Yeah, so that's definitely, I didn't get a chance to touch on that, but that was definitely been one of the bigger stories of Speed Week. Connor Daly, he said, you know what? I don't really have a great chance of getting in here, but I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to go out here and give it 100% with what I've got. And it worked out for him. He got into the 500. So that alone is a great story. So for every great story, of course, is a sad story. Austin Hill definitely was going to race his way in, was doing everything, you would think of that you're supposed to do, and gets caught up in a wreck. So the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, that's actually, even though some people don't like the wreck fest that this is, the one good thing about this being a wreck fest and lots of incidents and stuff like that, is it does create a lot of really good storylines. Look at the ARCA race. Van Alt wins the ARCA race, first win ever, and just look at the emotion in his face. A great underdog story, underfunded team. The guy had never won a race, and he wins his first race and his only race so far at Daytona. Like, what a great story! So it does add up for some really great storylines, and so that was really cool to see. Sammy D says we're having our annual Daytona 500 party here in East Tennessee. What's up, East Tennessee? Most of us are pulling for KFB, and the rest for Chase. Oh, so there you go. KFB and Chase. Let's have fun today, and remember to consume safely. So there you go. That's always a good idea. Use your Ubers and be smart about it. Don't catch a charge, as they say. Jesse Bishop says Ryan Priest all in, baby. So there you go. I like that. Ryan Priest is sort of another underrated one here. He doesn't have you can't really point to any Ryan Priest numbers or anything like that. But Ryan Priest has been fast. And he's in a Ford, so he's going to have plenty of help. TJ Moorshed says, thinking about throwing some sweet potato fries in the oven and drizzling some maple syrup on them. Heard that was good. Enjoy the race, BB. Nothing like the beginning of race season, says TJ Moorshed. So there you go. Pretty good snack. I actually haven't heard of that one. So I'll have to put that one on the list of things I might try out one day. Typically not a sweet potato French fry fan, but if you're putting a little bit of maple syrup on them, that might change my opinion of it. You might get a little what's that, French toast feel to it. Zane Smith for the miracle on the high banks. Oh yeah, Zane Smith would be another one. Obviously won the truck race, right? Or it got rain shortened. Some people are going to call that a Mickey win or whatever that meme is. Daly has no business in the race today. It should be Austin Hill, says Mark Barnum. In the famous words of Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven, deserves got nothing to do with it. So there you go. That's all I can say about any type of super speedway racing. Old Home Guy says, who's not a full-time driver that might try a full season if they win today? Oh, that's a good question. A non-full-time driver that might, if they did good today, Travis Pastrana. Like he's wild enough to do it. He doesn't really have anything other than his Nitro Cross series going on. So he would be one maybe. I don't know. He would be the only one that maybe just because he's so wild that I don't know. Let's see here. I was impressed with ARCA yesterday. No big one, a bunch of little ones. Xfinity was really good. Austin Hill had a super fast car. He came from the back to the front in 10 laps. Yeah, Austin Hill, he probably had the fastest race car out there, just the way he was able to maneuver it. And the ARCA finish yesterday, that was one for the ages. Like that guy, that dude, Van Alt, or I think his name's Van Alt. I actually followed him on Twitter because I was going on there to follow him, and I was already following him. But what a great win for him, man. That was awesome. Aubrey Edwards, presented by Prime Energy, says Denny Hamlin delivers another 500 win today this year. Dang, I sound like a Cowboys fan now. It's all good, man. And look at the plug for Prime Energy there. So there you go. I like the commitment to the sponsor there. Let's see here. JRM 29 Corey L in the 7 for the upset. He's a really good plate racer, and in all honesty, if you're still in it with 2 laps to go, you have a shot no matter who you are. I agree. Corey LaJoie is a great plate race car driver. Unfortunately, he's in a Chevrolet, so that's going to add another layer. But people know that he is a good plate racer, so I do think that they will work with him, and I do think that he is going to have, for whatever reason, Spire actually does have fast cars for the plate tracks. So they've got that part of it figured out. They just need to figure out every other racetrack. What's up, brother? Grayson got his Daytona track set up in the floor and ready to race. Danny and Gray's Cars and Toys. What's up, Danny? That's awesome. Hopefully he's got that 5 in the lead, and hopefully he can be the good luck charm to get that 5 car to get a win today, or at least a good finish, a better finish than Larson normally has at super speedways. Nathan Urich says the driver that protects his stuff and puts himself in the right position on the last lap will win. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Nathan. And you never know who that's going to be because there are just so many variables to this race that anything can happen. Zane Smith won trucks against Austin Hill again, and Austin Hill won Xfinity again. Does that mean Austin Cindric? Hey, there you go. Austin Cindric will win the Daytona 500 again. So there you go. That's a stat. Napa Racing Fan 927 with that one. That's a stat I hadn't thought about. So there you go. Bumblebee saying, hey, what's up, Bumblebee? She got her hair did for the 500 today. So tell her how pretty her hair looks. Let's see here. Jamie Schweitzer about to drink Peach Crown as an homage to President Carter, and Coca-Cola for Jolo. So there you go. That is the beverage of choice over at the Schweitzer house while they're watching the 500. JRM said these races are really survival mode until the last 2 laps to go. Yeah, and even we've seen in the past guys that lay back to stay out of the big one. Sometimes even that strategy doesn't work because you're not far enough back to sort of avoid the track being blocked up. So there's no safe place on the racetrack. So you might as well just go out there and race. And if you're around the squirrels, just get away from the squirrels and avoid them. The funniest thing about that was the year that Ryan Blaney he made all kinds of crazy moves. And then he just all of a sudden hops out of line and drops back, and they go to his in-car audio, and he's like, "These guys are driving crazy out here." And I was like, "Dude, you were like the main one driving crazy. Like, what are you talking about?" So that was pretty wild. Ryan Blaney, he's a very good plate racer though, so he knows what he's doing. Let's see. Hope Cindric goes back to back, says Tyler Martin. He's got a good chance. Those Penske cars are tough at plate tracks. Tough anywhere, but definitely at plate tracks. Old Home Guy says Ralston Denny isn't as bad as the press makes it out to be. I agree with you 100%. It was 100% spun up by the press just to have a story. Denny would love to have in his first win in his 23-11 team. I think so too. Get a 500 for the old 23-11. It could be a situation where he's pushing. He would push one of his cars to get that W. And of course, Tyler Reddick. Not a lot of people talking about him. He's another guy that he either wrecks or wins at plate tracks. What's up, y'all? Sunday Fun Day again. Welcome back, boys. Larson for the dub. I like the way you're thinking there, Rusty. I like the positivity. I'm pulling for Larson too, but I'm just going off past numbers. Plate tracks have not been kind to us. Bumblebee says, y'all ready for race day? I'm definitely ready for race day. I think everybody's kind of fired up for it. Josh Strickland says, how long of a contract did Chastain sign? All I've seen so far is that it is an extended multi-year deal. So I would say at least 3 to 4 years. But if I can find out some actual numbers on that, I will get them to you. But they said it was a pretty long contract. So I would say at least 3. I think 3 would be a safe number. Let's see. Matt Hunter says, not a Toyota hater since I drive a black Tacoma, but I have a sneaky suspicion Busch will have his hopes dashed due to an altercation with one of the Gibbs cars. It's quite possible. It's quite possible. And if I had to guess which one would do that, it would probably be the 54, right? Because it is his family name on the nameplate there. JRM29 says, I want Kyle Busch to win. But I think it's going to be a random first-time winner. I have no idea who's going to win. That's why I'm just saying I'm picking Kyle Busch in that 8 car because it's RCR. I know RCR is always fast, and I know Kyle Busch is a really good race car driver, and this is a race he's never won, so he's going to put extra emphasis on it. So I'm just going with him as my pick with RCR until he wins it, or until he retires or leaves RCR or whatever happens. You can't read the future, right? I Am Knowledge says we're ready to race. Let's go. So there you go. He's fired up and ready for some action here. Napa Race Fan 927 says Chase Elliott did win the second Atlanta and second Talladega race last year. Has run well at Daytona in the past. Yeah. So like I said, not a lot of people have said, hey, Chase Elliott's going to be the guy, but he is definitely good at these tracks. And typically it's somebody that hasn't really been talked about all weekend. So Chase Elliott could get the win. So look out for the Chase Elliott fans online if that happens. Right, they're gonna be blowing it out. The siren's gonna be going. It's gonna be a good time down for the Chase Elliott fans wherever they're located. If that happens, Brothers is top 10 today, both in RCR equipment. So there you go. I could see all of that happening. He's talking about Ty and Austin, I would assume. I miss the old days where the Daytona 500, as well as most races, started at 1 p.m. I hate waiting around all day for NASCAR to start. Says Napa Race Fan 927. Yeah, sort of a noon start time is traditional. They've gone away from that for obvious TV purposes. But I got no control of it. I think a lot of people would like to see a noon start time, just so if it's Daytona, right? Florida gets a lot of rain. Just in case it does get rained out, you got a better chance to get it all the way in. I know they got lights and all that stuff. So not as big a deal here, but it's been a big push for a noon start time. David Land holding the line for the noon start time. He sticks with it every time it rains. So good on him. He's nothing if not consistent. A Wild Bill Righteous Kyle Busch has got this. Yep, nothing like adult candy. So that's another pretty good meme going around right now. The adult candy. He's now the adult candy man because of the three Chicana sponsorship. Let's see here. How much did Bubba get fined? Isn't he on probation? I think he's off of probation now. I don't see where he's still on probation or anything like that. I don't know how much money he got fined. I would have to look that story back up again. I got a super chat. Fast CXS says, I'm not a huge Cindric fan, but I think it would be cool for all three series to go back to back. I don't remember when that had happened before. I don't think that it necessarily ever has happened before. Thanks for the super chat, Fast CSX. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. So I'm with you. I think that might be a first time if it ever happens. So from that aspect, that would be a great story. So yeah, Austin Cindric, that would be cool. So definitely pulling for that storyline myself. Like I said, I'm just pulling for a good storyline for the channel. Pulling for the two Kyles and RCR and Petty GMS Legacy MC Hammer to win. So those are what I'm picking with my heart. But I definitely picking for the best storyline for the channel. I won't even lie about that. Wreckfest Complete Edition with Heat 5 Gold Edition are dirt cheap on PSN for $15 for Heats, says Dave the Stalker. So there you go. If you want to pick up some vintage video games, they are at great prices right now. It'd be a good way to do some post-Daytona celebrating. Throw those on there and start playing them. Bumblebee says, I'm frying chicken with tater salad, collard greens, and butter beans. That sounds good. That's old school good right there. Doing my Daytona 500 thing, says Bumblebee. There you go. I like it. Enjoying the scrambled egg sandwich with some bacon. Hey, there you go. Hello from McAllen, Texas. Go Daniel Suarez. Hey, there you go. Suarez has a fast car for sure. Hopefully people will work with him after a lot of people, I guess, didn't like him being super aggressive at that point in the duel. But he's also driving a Chevrolet, so it is what it is. Let's see here. Walter Flair says, give me a bite of that sandwich. There you go. Wanting some of that bacon and egg sandwich. There you go. I like it. Breakfast is good all the time, by the way. Always a good meal whenever it's cooked. What's up from up north? Georgia, BB. This will be the first one of these I've been able to catch. Wall Vegas Dog. Good to have you on here if this is your first one. And what's up, North Georgia? And what's up, Wall Vegas? Good to have you on here, man. Glad you could catch this one. Mark Bukowski says pit stops will be key. You must keep a drafting partner. Yeah, that's for sure. This race could definitely not. It might not be won on pit road, but you can definitely lose it on pit road, right? So that's going to be interesting to watch. I predict Bubba will win. I want Chase to win. If Chase can't do it, I want RCR to bring it home. Make RCR great again. I think RCR is definitely on their way to getting definitely good again. But Bubba Wallace isn't a bad pick there. But also Chase Elliott. Not a lot of people are talking about him. I don't know if you caught that part of it, but he's definitely fast at these type of tracks. And typically, the person that wins this is somebody that wasn't talked about. So Chase Elliott, now that I'm thinking about it, I think he's going to have a good chance to win this thing. Chevrolet will dominate, says Mark Wachowski. So he's going the opposite. He's like people are going to work with Chevrolet because they got the faster car. So he's saying Chevrolet will dominate here. So that's interesting. 5 female racers in ARCA yesterday. 2 finished in the top 10. Says Mark Barnum. So yeah, that was definitely a really cool deal for sure. I know Amber. I think that was the best finish for Amber Baclean. Baclean. I don't know how to say her last name. I probably butchered it, but it wasn't on purpose. So yeah, for sure. Swan Dog says, I really enjoy your channel and looking forward to a great season. Thanks for all you do for our support. Let's go number 8 KB. So I appreciate the super chat, Swan Dog, and I think your KB number 8 pick is definitely. It's so hard for me to not say KB 1-8 because I said KB 1-8 for so long. KB number 8. I think that KB number 8 pick is definitely a good pick. Let's see here. Kyle Busch is about to wake the sleeping juggernaut that is RCR. Dale Sr. is looking down from heaven, pumped up, says JRM29. He's definitely breathed new life into RCR. There is a lot of people excited about RCR this season that haven't been excited about RCR for a long time. And just so far, what he's been able to do in that car has been very impressive. He ran very good in the duel before being wrecked, and he ran very good. Obviously, him and Austin Dillon both ran very good at the LA Coliseum, Las Vegas Coliseum, the Las Vegas Bull Ring that didn't exist. That race didn't exist. The LA Coliseum race, they both ran good. I'm just thinking, it's just my thinking, but did off season seem shorter this year? Maybe it's your show, BB, says old home guy. It definitely seems shorter. I think it's just because it had so much packed into it that it definitely seems shorter than normal. Don't forget, since they count caution laps, the pace car leads more laps than most, says Mark Bukowski. So yeah, I wonder if that's a prop bet that you can do over there in Vegas. Will the pace car lead the most laps? That would be an interesting parlay or whatever prop bet. Hold Fast is going with Harrison Burton. So the interesting thing about if Harrison Burton wins this race is I think it's going to be win number 100 for the Wood brothers. So that would be a really cool deal. I was talking about somebody about this the other day. I think it's going to be win number 100 if Harrison Burton can pull this win off. So I also would pull for that storyline as well. The Wood brothers, just awesome, just an institution in racing, really. Vedran Pivek, hopefully I said that right. I cheer for Joey Logano's. I think Joey Logano's got a good chance, Vedran. I think he's going to have a really good chance of winning for sure. Jamie Schweitzer says, who do you predict to come in dead last today? Oh, that's an even tougher question. So who will be the first person to wreck out? So it's usually somebody with speed. So it's usually somebody that's running fast. The Chevrolets do not push each other very well, so I'm going to go with a Chevrolet. And just based off numbers, I'm going to go with either William Byron, and I hate to say this, or Kyle Larson. It's going to be either William Byron or Kyle Larson that probably has the most likely chance to finish last because it's usually a fast car, and it's usually a car that gets wrecked early on, leading the race. So that's my logic behind that. I'm going with the Chevrolet because of the rounded noses. So I'm going to go one of the Hendrick cars, either Hendrick or either Kyle Larson or William Byron. JMR29 says, I just hope everyone's safe and NASCAR fixed the issue with the rear clip completely. I'm 100% with you. Hopefully these cars are safe as can be. Obviously, we saw the crazy incident with Sam Mayer where he slid on his hood in the Xfinity race. Bumblebee says Daytona is a crapshoot, though. Honestly, anyone can win. 100% agree with you, but I'm going with Alex Bowman in my heart. I think he's got a fast car. I think he's got a good chance. With my head, Kyle Busch will end the 18-year drought today. So there you go. I like both of your picks there. And I don't know if you were here for the first part of it, but every time the race has been held on this date, the 48 car has won. So there you go. Maybe your guy can get it done here today if that holds true. Shane Gron. I'm just going to go with Shane. Kyle Busch for the win, and Ricky Stenhouse first to cause an accident. Oh, Ricky Stenhouse, that's another good one to possibly. He might not finish last, but he might be the culprit to make somebody finish last. That's a good point. Dave the Stalker says, B, you think Will take out a hamster? I don't know. Autocorrect. I think autocorrect got you there, and I can't figure out that one. Does someone get airborne today? I think so. JRM29. I do think somebody will. Typically at plate tracks or super speedways, as they call them now, typically somebody does go the wrong way. I hope it doesn't happen though. Larry Hale says Kyle Busch wins, so another vote for Kyle Busch there. Martin Truex Jr. could be a sleeper pick today. Yeah, that's another one. So the Toyotas are definitely fast. And Martin Truex Jr. can get it done here. He usually lays back and then waits for the end of the race. So I could see him getting it done. Austin Hill looked good last night. Go get him RCR, says Josh Strickland. Yeah, unfortunate he didn't make the race. But I think he was even more motivated to win because he didn't make this race. And I think he'll be ready for him next year. Is it me, or do we just have some of the most exciting storylines to start the season we've had in a long time, says Eric Sipes? I do agree with you, Eric. There's a lot of backstory this season that we normally don't have. I think for the first 40 or 50 laps, mostly a freight train. Could be completely wrong though, says JR M29. I think the first stage will probably be very calm. I think they'll start ramping it up a little bit in the second stage. They'll sort of get unsettled, then they'll have a big wreck. Then they'll be calm until the last stage. and probably to the last, 15 or 20 laps of the last stage. Rusty Beechwood says Ross and Denny's story was spun by the press because Denny ran his mouth a few times. Then he punked out every chance he got. Chased him around the track like a 5-year-old with a crush one time, and that was it. Yeah, so I mean, more or less, yeah, the media spun it up, and Denny Hamlin, he likes to talk, so that's just part of who Denny Hamlin is. It's kind of the reason that I like him because he always keeps the story going. So I've always got something to talk about with Denny Hamlin. So I can't sit here and act like I don't like it because it helps me out for having content. But definitely, the media took what he said and spun it bigger than I think necessarily he wanted to spin it. Because you even saw toward the end of the year, he was every time they asked him about it, he was just like he really didn't want to talk about it, but he knew that he had already opened his mouth and that he had to talk about it. Rusty Beechwood said he is the guy who tries to get everyone mad and someone they're upset with and can't ever get the knack of it and can't ever get them back. I got you. Can't ever get them back. Yeah, so there you go. Another take on the Denny Ross deal. Fortunately, weather has been beautiful all week in Volusia. No rain in the forecast for me. Live about 25 minutes from the track. Truck race rain was a fluke pop-up. Yeah, so that's just Florida, right? Even when it's no rain, every once in a while you get a pop-up shower. That's pretty much anywhere on the coast. Even Outer Banks, North Carolina is very similar. But hopefully it's rain-free this year, and it won't matter what the start time is. Sven Larson says Daytona Day. Sven, what's up? It is Daytona Day. Everybody is pretty fired up. This has been a fun one so far. I Am Knowledge is going for cheering for the 1 car, the 8 car, or the 3. I like it. I like all those picks there. I don't know if Ross is going to have anybody that'll work with him, just because a lot of guys are either jealous or salty with him. But I do like the 8 and the 3. I think Ross will have the speed if he can get some friends out there. That's going to be the hard part. If somebody has a thing to my head, I had to predict who's going to win. LOL. It would be Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and then William Byron. I like all those picks actually. As long as William Byron can finish. I do like all those picks. Those are definitely solid picks. TJ Moorshed says, I just want to see most of the field finish the race. I don't like the 10 cars are left at the end of this race. Yeah, so hopefully it's not another big attrition race where we finish with less than 20 cars or something like that. So hopefully even the cars that do get in wrecks can keep going or whatever. Rusty Beechwood said, Larson, you're not wrong. However, he feels like he's robbed himself the last year. He made too many mistakes and he could have won that title. I think he's focused and he's coming to play. I hope so too. I think last year he sort of had that championship hangover. He didn't race as aggressively at the beginning of the season as he had the last season. So hopefully he comes in a little more focused than he was last year. And look, I'm saying that as probably one of the biggest Kyle Larson fans out there. But he looked a little unfocused. I don't know if he wasn't used to all that media and press that you have to do as the champion. But he was definitely he wasn't as I don't know. He just wasn't as aggressive as he was the season before. Fast CSX says, I hope Kyle ain't going to be angry, but I don't think he would be that kind. Says Fast CSX. Yeah, that's true. We'll have to see about that one. David Stalker says, just finished the last piece of bacon. So there you go. Dave got the last piece of bacon. He wins breakfast. Old Home Guy says, what track did Childress put a bump on Kyle's head? Maybe they should get a watch sponsorship for the weekend. Well, it was definitely a Rolex. And when he signed him, he gave him that Rolex that he was wearing when that incident took place. I don't remember what track it was at though. I want to say maybe a short track, so maybe Bristol or something like that, but I can't rightly remember. The starting command should be interesting, says Napa fan 927. So yeah, all these starting the races so far for this Daytona Speed Week have been very interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what this starting command is like, because a lot of people that have started the race so far in Speed Week has been quite entertaining. Or cringe, depending on your perspective. Fast CSX says, I think yesterday's ARCA race was one of the best in a long time, for sure. Best in a while. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Just because of the end of it, I wasn't a huge fan of all the wrecks. It seemed like they were wrecking every 5 minutes, but the guy that won, that was just a great storyline. Camaro 50 said, I just remembered to hit that like button. Yeah, so if you guys want to hit the like button, that would be appreciated. It helps out the channel, helps out the stream quite a bit. Matt Hunter, so far this speed weekend, Greg Van Alst, I did get it right. So Greg Van Alst finish line interview will be hard to top. Yeah, that just so much emotion. You could tell how much it meant to that guy. Like, when is the last time you saw somebody win an ARCA race and be emotional about it? Typically, the people in ARCA that are winning races are using ARCA as a stepping stone to get a super speedway license, and they're on to the next thing. This guy really loves racing, and he really loved that finish, and it came through in that interview, and you love to see it. That's actually why I like going to the short tracks all the time, because you do see that emotion. Sometimes by the time guys have gotten up to the cup level, they're a little bit jaded. You know, you don't necessarily always see that emotion, so it's always good to see the emotion, especially at sort of those right before the cup level areas as well. You know, Xfinity, ARCA trucks. Whenever you see that emotion pouring out, you know it means a lot to that driver. Matt Hunter says, so as far as speed weekend, Greg Van, I just read that one. RCR for the championship, says Josh Strickland. I think they've got a better chance than a lot of people are giving them credit for. I agree with you, Josh. Napa Racing Fan 927. Fox doesn't even have a post-race show on FS2, let alone FS1. Yeah, that's kind of bougie. Like, I'm not a big fan of that. I tell you what, who you can watch though, the Iceberg. As soon as the race ends, the Iceberg is going to go live on his channel. So check him out. And when the Iceberg's done, I'm thinking about I might go live on this channel. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But check out the Iceberg for sure. He's going to go live after the race ends. Daly finishes last is Mark Barnum's pick, so he's going with Connor Daly to finish last. Camaro 50, it's annoying Fox doesn't have a post-race show. Yeah, it is kind of a bummer, especially for the biggest race of the year. Mark Wachowski, happy 75th birthday, Daytona 500. That's 37,500 laps, not counting overtime laps. There you go. That's crazy. Crazy stat. I made it. Good morning, y'all, says One Wise Guy. What's up, One Wise Guy? Good to have you on here as always. Rusty Beechwood, would love to see Harrison getting that 100th win for the Wood Brothers if that 5 doesn't get it, or RCR with the 8. I like all those picks. Old Home Guy says, who causes the first wreck today? Does the 99 fear the 8 car behind it? I don't think, here's why I don't think the 99 will have to worry about the 8 car. The 8 car is not going to risk his race to wreck the 99, so I don't think that'll necessarily be an issue. Who causes the first wreck today? I think it'll be a Chevrolet first off, and there's a good chance it's going to be Ricky Stenhouse. Just going with the numbers there, and I'm not hating on Ricky Stenhouse. I like Ricky Stenhouse, but I'm just going with the numbers there. Matt Hunter says Fox Sports, we suck. Yep. We are Fox Sports. We suck, or whatever. However their little tag title goes. Is Dale Jr. waving the green flag today? I don't know. Jimmy Johnson can win this too. Sure, it's been said on here, but he figures out the car. It seems he will definitely be good. So yeah, he was taking it easy in the duels because I don't think he had a backup car, so he didn't really race hard in the duels. But you saw in one of those practices that he is one of the fastest cars out there. So I would expect him to be good today as well. Let's see, about 8 more minutes, and I'm gonna call this a day. So let's see here. I'm gonna skip down to the bottom, just try to get all these bottom ones here. So if I missed your deal, I apologize about that. Just throw it back in here, and I'll try to catch them all up. The KB Childress fight was at Kansas. Appreciate it, Bumblebee. Bumblebee's always got my back. Sonny V, a $5 spin of the wheel deal, and I got Cody Ware. Oh well. Yep, that's the way it goes sometimes. Gray Fam 8 says, in memory of Dale Sr., would have had a top 5 with today's new car and drivers. I want to say yes, maybe even a win. Great show today. Yeah, I agree with you. Dale Sr., he always figured out this track no matter what, no matter the tires, no matter the body changes. Good point, Gray Fam. I think he definitely would have been a contender still in his prime or whatever. Napa Race Fan 927 says, will Chase Elliott win the Coca-Cola 600 this year since he is a Coke driver now? That's a good question. Jimmy Johnson won all the time when it was the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Chad Huffman, Eric Jones, he's picking Eric Jones for the race there, and a whole bunch of stuff just jumped up here. Eric Jones, so I can get a race win diecast, says Chad Huffman. So there you go. Left Turn Colt should be on tonight. Oh, there you go. Left Turn Colt will definitely they'll definitely do the live stream after the race as well. Living in North Carolina is like dirt track heaven. Every Saturday night, nothing better except Bowman Gray and Winston-Salem, says Brian Bennett. Yeah, Bowman Gray is a show by itself. Let's go Chase Elliott, says Mr. Pearson. So another Chase Elliott vote there. Daytona is 65 this year. I got 2 years on the race, LOL. So there you go. Bumblebee doing some trolling here. NASCAR sucks. I'd rather be watching golf. Mark Bukowski says no mention of Gregson. So there you go. There's another one. Noah Gregson. He's definitely one of the dudes that can get it done and that nobody is talking about. So there you go. He also has good statistics at super speedways. I saw his earlier, and he was another one that will surprise you. I love the Burger Man. One of the best. Appreciate it, Big Wheel Hawaii. Alex Bowman is my daddy, says Bumblebee. The storyline is Joey Logano's new hair. Frankie Munoz, too. Frankie Munoz jumped on the hair club bandwagon. Appreciate the stream, BB. Let's go 24 and 5. Dave the Stalker with the super chat. Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you for helping out the channel. Let's see here. NASCAR sucks. Fuel Bumblebee, says Dave the Stalker. Old Home Guy says first car a lap down. First car a lap down will probably be one of the Rick Ware racing cars. EB, did you get some bad moonshine? LOL. Dave the Stalker says I'm in YouTube timeout. Yep, I wasn't in official timeout, but after the episode about the sponsor of Eric Jones's car, I definitely got put in super secret timeout. That list. So yep, I feel you on that one, Dave. Mark, I'm just cutting up. Yeah, so Bumblebee's just trolling a little bit. Bent, what's up, man? Happy race day. Don't know the winner, but Connor Daly probably going to get lapped a lot. Says Bent. So he's picking Connor to not have a great race. A few more days on Twitch. Says Dave. Oh, so you got all the way across all the platforms. That stinks, dude. Cassandra Keller, late to the party, but always good to have you. T-Van says, what's up? Section 8, USMC 53 says, I can't wait until this is over so we can move on to some real racing. Yeah, so a lot of people always say that. Good point there. Everybody always says after Daytona, the real season starts because Daytona's such a crapshoot. So that's always been a point of conversation. Anthony Auto Club Speedway says, all right, who starts the big one? Also, who will, it'll be a Chevrolet, I think. And also, will anyone spin? That's probably going to, I've said that a bunch of times, so it's probably going to bite me in the butt. It's probably going to be something other than Chevrolet, because I've said that 100 times now. Also, will anyone spin coming down pit road? Oh, I think somebody's definitely going to botch pit road. It always happens. It always happens. It'll either be Connor Daly or one of the rookies on pit road. I was bummed out. The trucks was rain shortened. I'm really curious how KBM is going to do this season after switching to Chevy and having 2 new drivers. I think Kyle Busch Motorsports will be fine. They had a lot of speed at Daytona. I think they're actually going to be good speed-wise, and especially when they get the All-Star truck going. Old Home Guy says, top finishing rookie of the year candidate. I'm going with Noah Gragson there. And my final 4, I told everybody on this stream that I would do my final 4. I'm not going to do my 16 because 16, it's half the field, just pick names out of a hat. But my final 4 is going to be Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Kevin Harvick. So there you go. That's my final 4. That's who I think the final 4 is going to be. And I'll probably change my mind 10 times on that. But that's who I thought about. I thought about it pretty long and hard last night, and that's who my final 4 are going to be. Jones Boy for the win. I like your style there, One Wise Guy. Eric Jones is another one not a lot of people are talking about, but he can get it done at these type of tracks. Have a great Daytona 500. Pray for a safe race. See you guys in victory lane, says Mark Bukowski. For sure. Van Alst won that race in ARCA. Race is my hometown guy. His fencing business is 2 blocks from my house, says T-Van. That's what's up, dude. He's from Indiana, right? I think he's from Indiana. So that's pretty cool. Escobar, I'm pulling for Larson, but he just has the worst luck at plate tracks. Yeah, I'm with you, Escobar. I agree. Napa Racing fan saying the name of the rock and roll band there that I can't say. Rusty Beechwood says, thanks for kicking off the season, BB. You're the best. Look forward to another great season of insight and knowledge. Keep it clean, boys. Go 5, 8, 21, and 19. I like all those picks. I appreciate the support, Rusty. Your dark horse for each manufacturer. That's a good question. So dark horse for Chevrolet would be Kyle Larson, just because he wrecks all the time. I know he doesn't seem like a dark horse, or Corey LaJoie if you want like an actual underdog. Zane Smith for Ford, or Harrison Burton, and dark horse for Toyota. I mean, it's so limited. I guess I got to go Ty Gibbs there, but is Ty Gibbs really a dark horse other than being a rookie? So I guess that's my picks there. Adam Davison, Houston, Texas here. Go Harvick, great channel. I appreciate it, Adam. And I think Harvick's got a good chance. It's going to be the No F's Given tour from what he said. Daytona is completely uncertain, but one thing is always sure. We can all raise heaven and praise Dale, says TJ, for sure. Harvick will win today, says Brian Bennett. For sure. I think so. Thanks for hanging out, BB, says one wise guy. T-Van said, yep, Indiana. So there you go. Zane back-to-back on Friday. Hill back-to-back yesterday. Pressure's on you, Austin Cindric. So, yeah, that's a big storyline to watch. So let's see what Austin Cindric can get done here. The championship, he's going, Napa Racing fans going the 4, the 5, the 9, the 12, and the 20. I like all those picks. I do like Blaney, and I do like Christopher Bill for sure. Jones is a beast. I hope he wins too, and will have a great year. I think Eric Jones is going to surprise some people this year. I think he surprised some people last year. I think he's going to keep getting it done. Mark Wachowski says, remember the number 8, the number 22, and the number 17. We got you, Mark. I do like those picks. My top 5 NASCAR YouTubers. Brock Beard, definitely good. Me, I appreciate it. I'm number 2. Jarrett Lundberg, the iceberg there. Number 3, appreciate it. Eric Estep, the GOAT, Eric Estep, getting it done. And number 5, Keegan Schneider. I appreciate it. I'm glad I made a list. That's the first time I think I've ever seen anybody put me on the list, so I appreciate it. And I'm number 2, so I'll keep working. I don't think I can beat Brett. I don't think I'm beating any of these guys, but I definitely can't beat Brock Beard. But I'll keep working and do the best. I want Horseface Brad out first, says David Stalker. So there you go. Josh Strickland says, killer show, very enjoyable. Appreciate it, Josh. Happy Harvick Day, says Jay Tomure. Appreciate it. And I think Harvick is going to do good today. Brad K, a little long in the face, says, say Kyle, not Cal. Camaro with the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy the race today, everyone. My only prediction is a Chevrolet win. 1 hour till the race starts. That's for sure. The 8's going to win today, says free to pay. The greatest hair will go to Joey. Oh, there you go. There you go. And Sonny V, this is the last one I'm going to read here. Sonny V, BB, you got to do a stage 1 reaction show one of these days. I might do that one of these days. If Elon Musk ever sends me some proper internet, I might do a whole race. But it's going to be, I'm just going to be waiting on that, basically. All right. That's it for this one. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Don't let the days go by, and peace.